Now that the series between India and West Indies is over, we're taking a look at four players that were very, very essential for the Indian team as far as their combination goes. Plenty at stake, not just for those teams, but also as far as how India would be planning the T20 World Cup. So, four players we've zeroed in, and we will be assessing their performance in this video. We'll start with Ravi Bishnoi, and all eyes were on him after his stupendous performance in the IPL and before that the Under-19 World Cup as well. So comes highly recommended. So how did he fare? I mean, in terms of numbers, he did rather well. Also picked up a man of the match. But what is it that the future holds for him? Now you got to remember, as far as Indian team's combination is concerned, you already have a wrist spinner in Yuzi Chahal who would be ahead of Ravi Bishnoi at the moment in the pecking order. But there could be opportunities where India ends up playing two wrist spinners, especially two leg spinners, and not just a Chinaman, in which case you might have both Ravi Bishnoi and Yuzi Chahal playing. So as far as spinners are concerned, there are pretty much a lot of spots which are opened up and anyone can get a opportunity. Ravi Bishnoi, even though he's done very well at the moment, I think would have to be careful going forward and would have to work on his leg spin. We know that he picks up a lot of delivery, a lot of wickets based on his googly, bowls a little quicker, and initially anyone who faces him might have a bit of a trouble, but going forward Ravi Bishnoi will have to work on his bowling, as we saw towards the latter half of this series versus the West Indies, that they realize that most balls are going to be googly, most will be bowled flat, will come out quickly onto the bat, and especially someone like Nicholas Puran used it very well, cut the ball multiple times and got a few boundaries based on how Ravi Bishnoi bowled. So he may have to work on a little bit more variety before he gets found out, but it was a good series for him, initial part of his career to begin with.
Well, Ravi Bishnoi was someone the selectors wanted to see, the team management wanted to see. In fact, when the Indian team was in South Africa, Ravi Bishnoi had been bowling at the NCA to the likes of Rohit Sharma and all. And since he bowled well against them and he bowled well in the IPL, they wanted to have a look at him. We all also know that they've got this fondness for a leg spinner who can bowl quickish in the air off the wicket. He did well. He handled the pressure, which means that he's got the temperament. At the same time, he will also have to work on his leg spin. He's somebody who relies more on the googlies. He's somebody who's quickish in the air. So maybe if he can get closer to the wickets, start bowling a bit slower, then the batsman would struggle against him. Because normally we've seen with the spinners that the moment international batsmen, they figure you out, they know how to play you. So if he's going to be a wicket taker, he'll have to work on his leg spin as well.
Well, it was a brave call to have two leg spinners in the same playing 11, Yuzi Chahal and Ravi Bishnoi. We already know what Yuzi Chahal as a leg spinner can do. He's an attacking bowler, and majority of the wrist spinners are an attacking option for their captain. Now, Ravi Bishnoi at this age of his career is introduced into the international arena by the head coach Rahul Dravid and Rohit Sharma. And as far as Ravi Bishnoi is concerned, he completely lived up to the expectations. He relies on his wrong ones. The moment he develops those leg spinners, I think he will be a very dangerous. He can be a very dangerous bowler. And these are still early stages in his career. We saw how Yuzi Chahal was speaking to him during the matches, and he was guiding him. So Ravi Bishnoi as a youngster has impressed everybody, and he's a wicket-taking option, especially when it comes to facing or bowling to players from West Indies, because we know how dangerous those batsmen can be. So Ravi Bishnoi, I think, is here for a long haul.
Venkatesh Iyer was fast-tracked into the Indian team, and after South Africa, many thought that it was a mistake. I think it was a mistake. Blooding him in the ODIs was a mistake, and I think the right format for him right now is T20s. They gave him number 6, which is never too easy. And after a long time, you had somebody who could bat at 6 the way somebody should be inclined to bat at number 6. Again, West Indies not the kind of opposition that you can judge players, but Venkatesh Iyer will now start believing that he belongs. And the team should also give him more opportunities rather than just waiting for Hardik Pandya. The moment Hardik Pandya is fit, the moment he's playing, Hardik walks into the team. But so long as Hardik is not there, Venkatesh Iyer could be the go-to man for this team.
Venkatesh Iyer, now for a player like him who's relatively new to Indian cricket, Indian fans only started taking notice of him after that outstanding IPL season that he had with Kolkata Knight Riders. And pretty quickly, most players, when they come up the ranks, they are given an opportunity to play in positions that are comfortable for him. Did not happen for Venkatesh Iyer. I think there was a conversation. He was told in advance that we are really, packed as far as top order batsmen are concerned. So you'll have to look at the middle order. We're looking for a seam bowling all-rounder. So try and make that spot yours, because we only have one option in Hardik Pandya. And kudos to Venkatesh Iyer to take that challenge. It's not easy, and then to take that challenge at the international level. After the South Africa series, not too many people were very sure where he goes from here on, what the future holds for him. But in this particular series, he's shown that he can adapt to that particular position, and that is going to augur very, very well for Indian cricket. There could be a situation where you could even look at playing both Hardik and Venkatesh Iyer going forward, especially in seam-friendly conditions. So he offers that, and it's never going to be easy for a batsman who's been a top-order batsman to come and start hitting the ball when batting at 6 or 7, and he's done that with aplomb. So that's really hard. He's a big guy, has big, long limbs, so he can use that long handle, whack the ball outside. He's got a good pull. Sometimes reminds me of Yuvraj Singh. I know that's a very big comparison to make, but just I'm saying maybe because of his, the tall stature that he has and the long limbs that he has, and when he pulls the ball does remind you a bit of Yuvraj Singh. Of course, clearly he has much to achieve till you can actually draw a comparison between the two. But yes, the signs are there. And the one thing that I really loved about him is that he's keen to bowl. If you remember in that second T20I, he walked up to Rohit Sharma when the game was getting very, very close and said, give me the ball, I'll bowl in this situation. Even though the captain didn't go to him, but that tells you a lot about the attitude of a player. And going forward, how are they going to use him as a bowler? Rahul Dravid has made it very clear that the sixth bowler is not going to be used in every match. Only when someone is injured, like we saw in the case of Deepak Chahar, or when one bowler is going for a lot of runs, only then we'll call upon to the sixth bowler. Otherwise, they'll try and bowl with the 5 regular bowlers, and in that slot, Venkatesh Iyer fits in very well.
Well, it's strange. For quite some time, India has been looking for a replacement or an alternative for Hardik Pandya. They tried Vijay Shankar, they tried Shivam Dube for a while, but eventually, as it happened, it seemed that as if they cannot find any other option for Hardik Pandya. Now comes Venkatesh Iyer, who made it to the Indian team on the basis of just a few innings that he played in the UAE leg of the last IPL. To be precise, around 7 to 9 innings that he played as an opener. Now it came as an opportunity for him to bat down the order as a finisher. And so far what he's done is pretty exciting. And also his future also seems very exciting. Although there's a long road ahead because Hardik Pandya, if and when he is available, he will perhaps be on the radar of the team management, of the selectors. But what Venkatesh Iyer did here against West Indies, if he can do that more consistently, although here also he did that job pretty consistently, but if he can do that more regularly, I think Hardik Pandya may have a very stiff competition. And also not to forget the opportunity that he got to bowl in the last T20. Unfortunately, Deepak Chahar got injured and he had to go off the field, and Venkatesh Iyer got those limited opportunity, got a few overs to bowl, took 2 wickets. And what impressed, in fact, when Venkatesh Iyer was being considered or when he was being talked about, his ability to bowl those Yorkers was also mentioned regularly. So that finishing ability, as he did against West Indies, and if you can get a few good overs from him, I think Venkatesh Iyer, full marks to him the way he batted under pressure, because every time any fast bowling all-rounder comes into the Indian team, he will always be considered and compared with Hardik Pandya. As of now, Venkatesh Iyer has done his job and should be there in the scheme of things for the Indian team. Surya Kumar Yadav, it's not been too long when he was being talked about. He's got loads of runs in domestic cricket. He's been performing really consistently in the IPL for Mumbai Indians, and that was the reason that Mumbai chose to let go of a lot of big names, the heavyweights from that lineup, and Surya Kumar Yadav was retained. Now, Surya Kumar Yadav, of course, Shreyas Iyer was being considered ahead of Surya Kumar Yadav. He got a slight opening when Shreyas Iyer got injured, and since then, Surya Kumar Yadav has owned that position. He can be a finisher. I think the audacity with which he bats, not too many will forget the hook shot that he played when he made his debut against England, and the hook shot that he played against Jofra Archer. Not too many would forget that, and that shot gave the belief that this man here has the courage to take on anybody in that on the cricket field, and he can bat up the order, he can bat in the middle order as in number 3, number 4, and he can be a good finisher. That is exactly what he's shown in the series, or the limited opportunity that he's got in the last 11-12 months. I think he can be very dangerous, and he has the range of shots. The audacity with which he bats can actually dampen the spirits of not just the bowler but the complete opposition, and that is exactly what we saw, at least in the last T20 against West Indies, where a score, team can finish somewhere around in the vicinity of 150, 160, and a finisher like Surya Kumar Yadav can take that score to somewhere around 200. That is exactly what we saw in the last game. Surya Kumar Yadav in white ball cricket for India is a must.
Well, he's the real Surya. He reminds me of Javed Miandad, actually. A street fighter, a smart cricketer who could bat at any number, 3, 4, 5, 6. And, India had been struggling to have batsmen at 4, 5 after the likes of Raina, Yuvraj and Dhoni went away. So Surya is somebody who's comfortable at 5. Not too many batsmen are, because in India, we've got this tendency of judging batsmen on the basis of runs that they get in the IPL. So in the IPL, if you're batting in the top 4, obviously you will get more runs. But the problem is who bats at 5, who bats at 6. So Surya also has this habit of finishing games, of playing the last ball, of scoring the winning runs. And exactly not AB de Villiers, but his range of shots is 360. Maybe his confidence is his biggest asset, like I said. Reminds us of Javed Miandad. And Rohit Sharma knows now that he is one batsman who he can trust. And the moment you get a good number 5, you can obviously then have your solid middle order as well.
Surya Kumar Yadav. Now, sometimes public memory is very, very short. Most of you may not remember that he was actually a backup for Shreyas Iyer. Yes, he's had a few good IPLs. You got him into international cricket. But in that pecking order, Shreyas Iyer was ahead of him. It's only because of those 2 shoulder injuries that Shreyas got that you gave Surya Kumar Yadav a chance. Even till South Africa, if you remember, in those 3 ODIs, the first 2 Shreyas Iyer played. Only in the third he got an opportunity. So firstly, it's not a great spot to be in, that you know that you're a backup of someone also who's not 100% guaranteed. So you're basically at number 3 in terms of the pecking order of making it to the 11. So far away from that. But whatever little opportunities he's got, he's looked very, very good. I can remember that third ODI in South Africa. I remember only 1 chance he got, and he did not care about getting a lot of runs. He played for the team even then. His strike rate was outstanding. Got out playing to a rash stroke, but that's how he got his runs till then. What that tells me, again, I talk about attitude. What that tells me about him is he's an out and out team team man. He's not going to look after his own runs or his own average. He's going to play according to the situation of the game. And what a great head on the shoulders he's got at the moment. He can adjust to the situation. He's got every shot in the book. He can in fact play about 3-4 different shots to one particular delivery, and that's what makes him such an exciting talent to watch. And his selfless attitude, I think all of it put together, he for me should be part of every white ball team. He makes it to the 11 come what may, according to me, and I think that should be it going forward with Surya Kumar Yadav. And finally, we talk about Harshal Patel. Just a short while ago, we spoke about how, number 7 batting is such a rare talent to find, not too many options. And I think Harshal Patel is similar when it comes to seam bowling. He's one of those rare bowlers who specializes bowling in death. The other one I can think of is Jasprit Bumrah, who does very, very well in the death. And there was a time that Bhuvaneshwar would do that job also very well for India. But now that Bhuvi has not been in that form, even though he's showing some sort of signs, after Jasprit, you need a bowler who can, bowl in the crucial overs, is not scared to bowl slower deliveries that he does, and he has multiple different types of slower deliveries, which also makes him very, very deceptive. So now it's not a case of one good IPL or two good IPLs. He's shown it in international cricket also, that he has that skill, which is a rare skill, to bowl in the death overs. He showed it in those last two T20 encounters versus West Indies. Bowled the crucial 19th over, gave away very few runs, and from there on set up the game for India. So that's the skill you must have. And now I think it's going to be a headache for the Indian team to pick those 3 fast bowlers that they play, because Jasprit Bumrah is going to be back. Mohammad Siraj, when fully fit, is going to be there. You got Shardul Thakur and Deepak Chahar as well. Prasidh Krishna is knocking on the doors. Avesh Khan had just one game, but of course you'll give him a few more chances. Too many bowlers. Harshal Patel is there too. Too many bowlers. But I think at the moment the skill that Harshal offers, not too many bowlers give you. And in that case, you can have one seam bowler in either Chahar or Shardul, one out-and-out pacer in Jasprit Bumrah, and it'll be a very close call between, let's say, a Siraj or Harshal Patel. But the kind of skill that Harshal Patel brings with him, I think it'll be very, very tough to ignore him.
Harshal Patel, another experienced Indian bowler, Indian fast bowler, who's performed in domestic cricket, but he also caught the eye of cricket fans and selectors and the team management through his performances in the IPL. The slower delivery that he bowls is different perhaps from the other fast bowlers. The angle at which the ball dips from Harshal Patel is different, and that is what makes him a different bowler, especially in the death. We've seen in the past that one worry that the captain or Virat Kohli, when he was the captain, that he would face, a problem that he would face would be the death bowling. Bumrah, of course, is an incredible death bowler, but Bhuvaneshwar Kumar, because of his form lately in the last few years, India have struggled in that department in death bowling. Harshal Patel just solves that puzzle. Harshal Patel, his ability to take wickets, be it upfront or death bowling, makes him somebody, you would want to have him in the scheme of things. You would want to have him travel with the team, and if opportunity comes, he should be he can just come in and walk into that 11 and get you those important wickets and win you matches.
I think it was a mistake not to take Harshal to Dubai last year in the World Cup. More so because Virat Kohli was his captain at the RCB, and Harshal was one of his key bowlers. So the Indian captain should have then understood and realized the importance of Harshal Patel in T20s. Now that Harshal's becoming a regular member of the T20s, I think he should be going to Australia for the World Cup. You will have bowlers who can bowl well with the new ball. There are not too many who can bowl in the death. I mean, Bumrah is one, but Bumrah has sheer pace, he's got his Yorkers, he's got different qualities. Harshal Patel does rely on the slower ones, but he's also very clever. Just because you know how to bowl a slow one doesn't necessarily make you a good death bowler. You've got to have that brain as well. And I think he's got a sharp cricketing mind. He knows what to do and when.